Have you ever thought about what your dream car is? Maybe a Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini. Probably something along those lines, right? Fast, flashy, and above all, very expensive. For most people, that seems to be the way it goes. However, for some incredibly creative people out there, money isn't stopping them. And instead of just going out and purchasing their dream cars, they get their hands dirty and set out to build them. While you'll probably never be lucky enough to see these cars in action, we've done the hard work for you. And today we're going to take a look at some of the most incredible, extreme, and downright unbelievably cool handmade cars the world has ever seen. Ready to be amazed? Let's get it on! Lamborghini Aventador. Many people dream of having a Lamborghini, but by the basic rules of economics, most people will never be able to afford one. While most people will call it a dream car, for Russian YouTuber and mechanic Ilya Strzelecki, that just wasn't enough. Ilya decided that a Lamborghini wouldn't just be a dream car, it would be a dream project, and so he set to work constructing his very own Lamborghini Aventador. Believe it or not, this insane blue supercar is built out of the basic components and engine of a Nissan Maxima, while the body was handcrafted and custom mounted by Ilya himself, as he details over the course of several months and several videos on his channel. To up the performance of the Maxima engine, Ilya handcrafted any pieces he couldn't find secondhand, or any that really just didn't exist because there isn't exactly a big market for handmade Lamborghinis out there. The homemade Aventador commonly turns heads whenever it hits the streets, and I totally understand why. You could stare at this car all day and never think it was anything less than the original Italian supercar.
Problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back.
All in all, it just goes to show that you don't have to shell out $250,000 to get your dream car. You've just got to call upon your inner Tony Stark. Russian Cybertruck. Enter Garage 54, a Russian YouTube channel run by a rather ingenious auto mechanic who takes on a ton of original car building projects. After seeing the hype around the Cybertruck, Garage 54 set to work on making their own version of it. And at first glance, you might actually just think this is an unfinished test model from the Tesla factory itself. But take a closer look, and you'll realize that this is far from any regular old prototype.
Tight, yeah!
Made from the body of a UAZ van in actual scrap metal, the polished angular body really does match the look of Elon's crazy concept. While not everything about the car is perfect, for example it has no doors so passengers have to climb in through the hatchback, it's actually totally drivable, and has caused quite a stir on social media whenever passerbys in rural Russia see a car that shouldn't even be available in major cities for another year casually riding around. While this custom may be cool, I think I'll probably wait around for the real thing. Vader. Suicide Squad was many things, but this isn't a movie review channel. No, we're talking about cool handmade cars, and believe it or not, Suicide Squad actually featured a pretty amazing one. No matter what you thought of the Joker's redesign, you've got to admit that his purple supercar looks amazing. While at first glance this might just seem like a tricked out Aventador or Lycan, like something out of Fast and Furious, but actually this car, better known as the Vader, can be yours too for about the same price as a Toyota Prius. Yeah. How is this possible? Look through the dreams and hard work of Matt McEntegart, car designer extraordinaire. Matt runs a custom car shop with the idea of bringing supercar levels of luxury to the average consumer. By stripping down all the body plating of average, affordable cars, he creates blank canvases on which to build whatever he can dream of for little more than the cost of fiberglass and paint. And with its sleek body and crazy handling on the road, it's easy to see why the Vader was the perfect pick for the kind of car the Joker might rip through the streets of Gotham in. Just remember, if someone tells you that you'll never be able to achieve your dreams, follow Matt's example and just make it happen on your own. Maverick flying car. At first glance, you might think the Maverick just looks like an antique car from the 1920s, but look a little harder and you might see... Is that a propeller?
I thought you were kidding!
Someone had not just the crazy idea to combine a plane and a car, but the crazy genius to actually construct it. And while you can whip around on the freeway in style in this classy looking car, tucked away inside is your ticket onto an airfield, a massive set of wings, and a crazy high canopy. Hit the gas down the airstrip and see a scene straight out of science fiction, a real flying car.
Look at that. That's unreal.
With a price tag of $96,000, the Maverick might be a little on the expensive side for a car, but it's on the very cheap side for a plane. Honestly, it seems like the ultimate Uber ride. You can avoid all the traffic, turning plenty of heads all the while. Land speeder. As colorful and deep as the internet can be, it's easy to lose sight of how cool some of the stuff you can find online is until you stumble across something really mind-blowing. Well, the land speeder is definitely one thing that could stir that appreciation in you. Plucked straight out of the alien worlds of Star Wars, the land speeder was hand-dreamed and designed by none other than a YouTuber, the imaginative engineer Colin Firth. Originally coming from nothing more than the body of a stripped-down golf cart, Colin has custom-fitted pieces of sheet metal, fiberglass, and other materials to make the iconic outer body of Luke Skywalker's original vehicle from the first films. Made to be pretty close to scale, the land speeder measures over 12 feet long and weighs just over 1,000 pounds, which makes it all the more impressive to hear that this heavy contraption can reach speeds of more than 40 miles per hour on the highway. Not sure how fast the real land speeder might have gone, but that's a lot faster than most things on a desert planet could probably move. At the end of the day, it goes to show that with some inspiration and a bit of hard work and determination, you can accomplish even the most out there seeming dreams you can think of. Batmobile. Of all the fictional cars out there, the Batmobile is arguably the most famous and realistically one of the best. However, what better way to make something that's cool in fiction even cooler than by actually making it in real life?
That escalated quickly.
That's where Zach Miajlovic started his own superhero journey. Inspired by the 1980s iteration of the big screen Batmobile, Zach, along with the help of his grandfather, got to work constructing as close to a copy as they could muster. And while there are 9 other replicas of this version of the Batmobile in existence, Zach boasts owning the only one that's not only drivable, but legally able to be driven, which allows for some seriously awesome trips around town. Plus, if you've ever wanted to, you could even use it to make homemade s'mores. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a more unique vehicle than this. Limo jet. Limousines are often seen as the peak of class and elegance, but for Frank D'Angelo, professional limo builder, a limo just wasn't high class enough. So, what's a step up from a limousine? Well, a private jet, of course. So, how do you make a limo or a private jet even better? Combining the two and fusing them into the incredible limo jet. No, really, look at this thing. It's an actual limo jet. The limo jet is a custom-built supercar, having cost over $1 million to build and listing at $5 million on the market if anyone out there is interested. Moreover, it's also entirely street legal, even while measuring in at 42 feet long. And if you're taking a ride in this fiberglass beast, the party doesn't stop when you step outside, with its built-in external and interior sound system, complete with 12-inch subwoofers and a whole mess of stealthily hidden speakers. While the limo jet doesn't exactly get airborne, riding around town in this is no doubt going to turn a lot more heads than you get in the sky, so it's a pretty fair trade-off for such a unique custom vehicle. And while it runs on regular gasoline, how you're ever supposed to park this thing at a gas station is something I don't think I'll ever figure out. Either way, if fueling up your $5 million limo jet is the biggest problem you've got, then life is probably going pretty well. Ice G-Wagon. Russia is famous for being unforgivably cold, and if you've ever lived in the extreme cold, you'll know that getting your car to start under those conditions can be a bit challenging to say the least. But what better way to combat the cold than to harness its power and make it your own? It's actually what the team over at Garage 54 in Russia took on as a winter project by creating a fully functional and life-accurate Mercedes G-Wagon entirely out of ice. Using the cold to their advantage, the team took the body and mechanics of a car and covered it in massive ice blocks, weighing a total of 6 metric tons. Whoa. And froze them into place with nothing but water and Siberian temperatures. Using an ice sculpting chainsaw, they whittled down the blocks to perfectly match the shape of the German luxury vehicle, and even added in neon lights that shine through the translucent body of the ice car and give it an almost magical air. The motor and other internal components are fully functional, and so the engineer behind this crazy cool contraption takes it out on the town to provide an impromptu show for any passerbys wild enough to go out and about in the Siberian winter. I'm pretty sure that thing's not fitted with heated seats, so I'll be more than satisfied just looking at it from a screen, thank you very much. Cardboard Lexus. Cars are traditionally made of sturdy materials like metal, steel, or fiberglass, things that can stand up high-speed collisions and the elements of the outside world. But sometimes you've gotta push the status quo to get some heads turning. And after years of making ordinary cars, the team over at Lexus came up with the crazy idea to make a car entirely out of cardboard. Inspired by the art of origami, the team of high-class automotive engineers got to work on their unbelievable project that pretty much anyone would say is bound to fail. Against all odds and running on sheer determination and creativity, they proved all the naysayers wrong and created an incredible piece of automotive art. The interior of the cardboard car features every facet of an actual Lexus IS, from seats to steering wheel. Even the wheels were perfectly crafted to be able to hold the weight of the body and the real mechanical and electrical components tucked away under the cardboard hood. All in all, the experimental project required over 1,700 individually designed pieces of cardboard, which were able to be laser cut in a matter of weeks. The best part? It actually drives. Imagine being stuck in traffic behind a fully functional car made entirely out of paper. Just be sure to keep an eye on the weather, or things may go south pretty quickly. Rungy cars. One of the selling points of crazy designer cars like Lamborghinis and Ferraris is usually the craftsmanship behind the car itself. The idea that there's something unique and special about not just how the car was designed, but how it was put together. Luckily, Chris Rungy is definitely counting on that, because when he gets to work on some of his eye-catching, mesmerizing, and above all, original cars, it can take well over 2,000 hours to arrive at the completed product. But with results like these, the wait is definitely worth it. Using the same kinds of tool blacksmiths in medieval England might have wielded, Rungy manually builds the frame and body of the car before hard-working the metal for the exterior, still leaving it with that smooth and finished look in a way that's just naturally way more impressive than anything off an assembly line. While based on the order, the price is always going to vary, Chris's cars are so precisely and famously well made that they can fetch a whopping $275,000 price tag each, and that's on the lower end. Still, one project can take almost 6 full months to complete, but with results like these, I'd say most people aren't gonna mind waiting for their custom Rungy car.